Howdy folks, Dreadshells here, and welcome back to World of Tanks. And once again, I seem to be apologizing every time I start a video on every upload that I make on my YouTube channel for the inconsistency I have in uploading content on my channel, so I apologize about that. But today we're going to be looking at a game I had in the T92. This is the Tier 8 Premium Scout Tank for the USA. Merca. The I will be quite frank with you, this tank is not that great. It does have some interesting quirks about it, and I would say it's more of a specialist, and that's a really nice way of saying it's a one-trick pony. It's a one-trick pony of a scout. So, and more often than not, the circumstances of matchmaking, whether it's the map that you get or the team composition that you get, do not favor this tank over playing a different tier 8 scouts. So, but I felt like playing it, and just because I was bored of playing the same other scouts over and over again. And I remember one of you, I can't remember, one of you guys who followed me really likes the T92s, so I guess this video is for you. Or maybe a few of you do. So just a quick overview of the attributes of general impressions of this tank before we start the battle. It has a fast rate of fire, so that's good. The DPM is, it's okay if you can be penning all your shots, but that's one of the downsides. 175 pen, not that great at tier 8. That's I would call that tier 7.5 pen, maybe barely above tier 7 pen that you would expect to be competitive with in a scout tank. Of course, this was pre-nerf, of all the scouts, but when the tier 10 got introduced and they nerfed all the pen of the scouts. But that's my impressions of penetration on scouts overall. So it doesn't have the best pen. The alpha 150 really hurts it, especially on maps where you only have a limited opportunity to shoot once. It's more difficult sometimes to keep your gun firing on enemies that are exposed over time, and you only usually get to shoot them once. Definitely early in the battle and mid-game in a battle. You can put your DPM to better use later on in the game when there's more open gaps and more enemy tanks are dead and you can sustain your fire. But the thing that this tank specializes in most is usually passive scouting. It's very sneaky. It has good camo rating and excellent view range for a tier 8 scout. I don't remember what view range I have with binocs and optics. I have a dual optics setup on this tank. I do that with a few of my scouts, although not much, not that many. And I usually limit that kind of equipment loadout to tanks that I feel that's their particular strength. So that's the equipment loadout that I have on this thing. I go basically all view range for the T92. And yeah, and the top speed on it isn't that great either, although it accelerates to that top speed very well. So you kind of have to play it pretty conservatively in the spotting role, especially in games like these where you're kind of outclassed and out-tiered a little bit. So here we are in Ruinberg. We're on the south spawn. This is the worst spawn to be in the north to south spawn, that is. The north spawn has an advantage in getting to the hill. Just realized I had my fan blowing there. That's probably better. Mid-game fan commentary. There we go. So the place that is really important to take from the south spawn on Ruinberg, encounter or standard, is this spot that you'll see me go to right here. And I'm taking all the risks here. There could be a lot of enemy tanks here, and I could die right away. It's a huge risk. And initially, this I felt being extra brave. So Normally, I would not go to this bush here. Pause for just a second. Normally, I just stop right here on this house and this bush here. You have more limited vision and it's safer. You can retreat better from it as well. So, but I felt like being extra aggressive and taking a risk and seeing what, because I had never actually used this bush early in a game before. So you can try it if you want. It's you're basically rolling the dice, like going up onto the hill on mines. It's a 50-50 if the enemy has any fast tanks here, and you're taking your life in your own hands by going to this aggressive of a position early. So don't want to shoot yet. Don't want to give away my position. Just want to see where else the enemy is right now. I do carry a few high explosive rounds in this tank, although the high explosive are not that great. There is a gap between that house and that bush line that you need to know when you're using this kind of side of the buildings on the zero line on Roenberg. So you will get spotted if enemies cross that little gap there. But the reason that you want to take and use this position if the enemy allows you to, and if you remain uncontested. And right now, you see I'm trying to encourage my teammates to proxy spot this UDES that's on the opposite, their opposite number right there. And this is why this position is really important to take. Because this bush here prevents you from being spotted until the enemies are a decent amount closer. And you can prevent the enemy from sitting behind their buildings on their side of the middle road right there. You cannot shoot them past the 8 line. The terrain actually slopes down towards the city, towards the 6 line. So once they're past the 8 line, you actually won't be able to shoot them. But if they're higher up, you can definitely start shooting them. And we can see that UDES 14 repositioned. He was going to shoot from behind, but he got spotted. I put a shot into him, and the bad chat 12T cleans him up. And I just felt like being really aggressive in this game. I don't know why. I was having a bad series of games, and I just wanted to I had enough, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna fight, and I'm just gonna see what happens. So right now, my main concern about return fire isn't so much from the UDES as it is from any tank destroyers that are behind, or I should say in front of me. I know I am able to shoot him once or twice more because I saw him fire. And got quite lucky there with a high roll. The average damage of this gun is 150, so you don't always roll low on a kill shot, contrary to popular opinion. So right now I'm just waiting a little bit for the tank destroyers and snipers behind me to move up a little bit before I start seeing if I can spot anything further that's in front of me. It's very important when you're positioning yourself in a scout, either to do damage yourself or to do spotting, that you try to work with the timing of your team, right? So if your team aren't in position to help you, you shouldn't try to 1v5 the enemy, because you'll get volleyed and then it'll be useless. So if your team aren't in a position to help you, then it's pretty meaningless. So right now I'm actually looking for the Waffle 4. I'm trying to figure out where he went to. And then I realized, oh yeah, you can shoot into the mid street from the city from this corner if you've taken the corner. And so right now I'm trying to feather shots out on the enemy, and it's actually kind of difficult because there's this fence right here. You can see that kind of runs along the edge of between the 6 and the 7 lines there, that stone and wire fence. And we spot the egg tiger here, and now I'm just going to go balls deep because I have lots of sniper support behind me, and taking a risk that the egg tiger would shoot me there, but I'm just kind of trying to drive as erratically as I can here to avoid getting shot by the Waffle 4. You see me trying to lock on auto aim there. I'm so used to playing EBRs where you don't have to actually get your cursor right on the enemy target, and it just auto aims, if you're close enough. So definitely playing the EBR has made me more of a lazy aimer, that's for sure. The other nice thing about the T92, it's low profile. And it has good gun depression, so you're a harder target to hit than other tanks, using ridgelines in particular. Although you're not as fast. The speed of this tank is the main thing that I don't like about it. It's basically got the mobility of a medium tank, with the ground resistances of a light tank. So um, you can accelerate to your top speed very quickly, and you're pretty mobile, but you're not very fast for a scout. Let's say it that way. So you got the top speed of a medium. So you're not going to be outrunning other scouts really, unless you anticipate their movement. Got lucky there that the Borsig missed, but he was turning his turret, and I was rolling the dice here. So I reload some HE here, and I just felt like bullying this game. I felt really confident, and I was just like, we can just totally wreck these guys now that we have the angle on them. Really cheeky shot around the rubble there. The Borsig misses his shot again, so I'm gonna take out the Artie since he might actually reload before the Borsig. Kind of a misplay here because the Borsig will reload again one more time, and he did get a shot on me, unfortunately. So I probably should have shot the Borsig first. And the enemy Scorpion G gets taken out in the city. So, as you can tell, I just felt like bullying in a tank that you can't bully in, and I just did it by being really aggressive in my positioning. And the main reason I was able to bully in this particular game is that the enemy allowed me to, and they didn't really contest my positioning over here in this corner here where the Conway is. It's actually, so yeah, that is a game in the T92 light tank, the Tier 8 American Scout. And you got to see some of the DPM ability of the tank, and we got some decent amount of spotting in as well. But the main thing about this is just how important that position is on Ruinberg. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching the game. I might make some more T92 gameplay. We'll see if I can find something on my hard drive, if I have anything like that. But yeah, my initial thoughts on this tank are it's not overall not that competitive, but it is competitive if it's allowed to use its particular strengths, which is view range, and camo rating. It's a very sneaky tank. So I wish you guys the best of luck out there on Ruinberg and in your T92s. Happy hunting and take care.